Today is World Suicide Prevention Day. Can you give us a bit of background how that affects the Isle of Man and what we saw today, for example, in Strand Street, the display and the walk tonight?
Yes, well, today's the World Suicide Prevention and Awareness Day. I run a group called Bereaved Survivors of Suicide, where I try and support people who've been bereaved by suicide, friends and family. And for us today, it's a way to remember the people that we have lost through suicide. I personally lost my son Martin in 2018 to suicide. He was 30 years old, and basically after about 6 months after he died, I decided to set the group up to help other people because I felt very alone in my grief, and I didn't see a way out of it. I didn't want anybody else to experience that kind of loneliness in the grief. So that's why I set up the group. That was just to support other people who've been bereaved by suicide. Obviously the shoes on display today, there's been 68 deaths in the last 4 years on the Isle of Man.
So we just completed the walk along Douglas Promenade. Can you tell us a little bit more about the day itself and especially the walk that we just saw tonight?
So the day was World Suicide Prevention Day, so what we wanted to do was get some charities together just to let people know that they're not alone, that there is help out there. The walk it was from the Bereaved Survivors of Suicide, and it was opened up to the public to come and support and walk with us.
And is suicide an issue on the Isle of Man that you think requires more attention?
Yes, definitely. Suicide it's a massive problem on the Isle of Man. The numbers are too high. I think we are higher than the UK per head, with 78 between 2020 and 2024. So there's 78 recorded suicides on the island. We need to get the numbers down.
What resources are there on the Isle of Man for anyone who thinks they need help or they just want to talk to someone?
Yeah, I think there's, in the last few years, there's been a few charities started up. Ed's Manx Space has started up. We've got I'll Stand Up to Suicide, which is a suicide telephone line which is manned every day, 365 days a year. If you're feeling suicidal, you can ring that number and get some help over the phone immediately, which is what we want. We don't want any more suicides. We're sick of it. There's too many on the island. 68 in the last 4 years is just not acceptable. That's 17 a year if you do an average. It's just way too many. We need to get that number down. And I think it's important that our communities become a more caring community, that we look out for each other a bit more carefully and look out for our loved ones and friends and checking on them and ask them how they're doing from time to time, just to make sure that we don't let anybody slip on, through the net again. I think if you look at the figures, the main numbers of male adults over in the mid-50s are really, but there are young ones as well, and thankfully not too many young people taking their lives on the Isle of Man, and we don't want that to increase. And we want all the numbers to decrease, but yeah, men of a certain age, like middle-aged men, can seem to be the highest number at the moment. So yeah, it's getting men to talk. Ed's Space is a place for people to go and talk if they're lonely or need to get something off the chest or they want some help. That's a place to go to.